It started with rain, the kind that whispers against windows in the British countryside, turning the world soft and slow. Clara had never planned for this, not the weekend escape, not the man who offered her a second cup of tea with a smile that made her forget her ex, not the way her heart had started fluttering the moment he touched her hand by accident, or was it? Elliot was a writer from Brighton, a quiet soul with a voice that lingered in the air long after he stopped speaking. Clara had met him only a few weeks ago at a small literary event in Bath. One conversation turned into dinner turned into long calls at night, and now, somehow, she was here in a cottage they'd both rented just to relax. But there was tension, the kind that made fingertips tingle and eyes wander too long. By evening, they sat by the fireplace. The cottage stone walls trapped the warmth, the orange flames flickering across Elliot's face. He poured wine and handed her a glass without breaking eye contact. Clara's fingers brushed his. Something passed between them, electric, quiet, necessary. She looked down and smiled nervously, cheeks flushed. He shifted slightly closer, and the room, once silent, now hummed with unspoken invitation. "I wasn't sure you'd actually come," Elliot murmured, voice low, velvet. Clara turned to face him. "I almost didn't." "Why?" She hesitated, fingers wrapped tightly around her wine glass. "Because I knew what might happen if I did." His lips curled into something between a smile and a sigh. "And now that you're here," her eyes met his full of guarded heat. "Now I'm wondering why I waited so long." The kiss was soft at first, like the beginning of a thought. Their lips met with curiosity, then need. His hand came to her cheek, holding her gently, as if afraid she might disappear. Clara let the glass fall to the carpet, forgotten. She climbed into his lap without thinking, her fingers diving into his hair, his breath mixing with hers. The fire crackled beside them, but the real heat was between them, mouths exploring, hands learning, hearts racing. Later, the bedroom felt like another world. Rain tapped the roof above as they stood near the bed, hesitant again. Elliot reached for her hand, eyes searching hers. "Are you sure?" Clara nodded slowly. "I want this. I want you." He took his time undressing her, every button a pause, every layer a question she answered with her breath. Her dress slid off her shoulders and landed like a whisper on the floor. She stood in her bare skin, vulnerable but unafraid. Elliot's gaze was reverent. He kissed her collarbone, her neck, her stomach, kneeling as if worshipping a moment he dreamed of too long. She pulled him up, her fingers working at his shirt, skin meeting skin like they were made to fit. Their bodies moved with a rhythm both new and familiar. They fell onto the bed in a tangle of limbs, lips, and low sounds, the kind only lovers share. Their first time was slow, exploratory, wrapped in the tension of two people who had wanted this not just for days, but lifetimes. Clara gasped as he touched her, his hands firm but tender, finding every place she'd ached to be held. Elliot's mouth traced paths along her spine, across her shoulders, down to the small of her back. She responded to him instinctively, her body arching toward him, guiding him deeper into the fire they had both kept lit in silence. Their rhythm shifted from slow to eager, from careful to consumed. They whispered each other's names like confessions, letting go of fears, of rules, of the past. It wasn't just sex. It was a conversation, one of breath, skin, and longing. She felt seen, worshipped, claimed. He felt home, the room, once filled with the chill of night, now breathed with heat and heartbeat. They lay tangled in the sheets long after, breathing together in the dark. Rain still kissed the window pane. Clara's head rested on Elliot's chest, listening to his heartbeat slow. He played with her hair absent-mindedly, his touch now soft, thoughtful. "You okay?" he whispered. She nodded, more than okay. He pressed a kiss to her forehead. "I've never felt something like this, not this way." Clara smiled into his skin. "Neither have I, and it scares me." Elliot's hand paused. "Why?" "Because I wasn't looking for anything. I didn't come here expecting us." He shifted, leaning on one elbow to look at her face, but we found each other anyway. She looked up at him, her eyes vulnerable and glowing. Yes, and I don't want it to end. He kissed her again, not with hunger now, but with promise. That night, they didn't sleep much, not because of passion alone, but because they couldn't stop touching, whispering, exploring each other's hearts like new countries. They laughed in the dark, told secrets, made slow love again, gentler this time, more knowing. He kissed the places she never let anyone touch. She said his name like a prayer. By morning, the rain had cleared and sunlight warmed the window panes. Clara stirred first, wrapping the sheet around herself and walking to the window. Outside, the garden shimmered with dew. She felt different, not changed, but unlocked. Elliot sat up, watching her silly, wet against the golden morning. You look like something out of a poem. She turned and smiled, then write me into one. He rose, kissed her shoulder, and whispered, I already have. They spent the rest of the day wrapped in blankets, sharing toast and stolen kisses. The world outside didn't matter. What they had was soft, powerful, and full of heat, not just of bodies, but of connection, desire, and the rare kind of romance that comes not from chance, but from choosing each other again and again. Their first night of romance wasn't perfect because of passion alone. It was perfect because it was honest, slow, full of tenderness and fire. A night when two people stopped pretending and started truly feeling. They didn't talk about tomorrow. They didn't need to. Because in each other's arms, with hearts full and skin warm, they had everything that mattered for one night, and maybe, if they dared, for much longer.